What's up, everyone? Welcome back to today's Bonji Hot Takes Volume 9. Today we're going to be talking about how the raw ingredient prices are going to continue to increase. Now, despite what you may listen to on mainstream media, people like to remain optimistic, and I think, and we do too. We don't want to scare you or cause any angst. However, we think it's really healthy to go into the year being aware of what to expect, both good and bad. So the bad thing is, as a manufacturer, by the way, we're back with the legendary Aidan Vigliotti here, and we kind of want to talk about what to expect. And it's not great, but if you're expecting it, you can address those concerns. So the raw ingredient prices are skyrocketing. Now, as a manufacturer of frozen fruit and you do some frozen dessert items, we're working with very common ingredients, whether it's sugar or some stabilizers, natural fats like coconut cream, fruits, whole fruits, IQF fruits, and we're being told, so if you look at the supply chain, right, it's raw ingredient manufacturers then sell to farmers, right, so they could farm appropriately and efficiently, and then the farmers sell to raw ingredient suppliers or distributors, and then they sell to manufacturers or producers of finished goods, and then the finished good producers, like ourselves, then ship to distributors, and then the distributors ship to restaurants and supermarkets, and then the supermarkets sell to the end consumer, right?
So down the line, everything's upcharged a little bit.
Right.
Everyone needs their profit.
Right. So as a producer, we're upstream from someone going to a supermarket like Walmart and buying a pint of ice cream or a thing of bananas, right? We're a few clicks upstream. So what we're being told is that the farmers and the raw ingredient manufacturers are telling people what you got last year is what you're going to get this year at most, right? So they're telling us, so we're a growing business, right? They're telling us we're not taking on any new business. We can't service you, right? So, and the few people that have said that they could service us, their prices have increased. What does that mean?
Well, there's two ways to make money for them. It's raise the prices or get more business.
Right.
And if they're not taking on more business...
Which they said for the whole year, not for a month or 2 months, for the whole year they're not taking on new business.
Which can only mean one thing. If they want to grow or make money at all, price increase.
Right. Right. So the top of the stream, the top of the supply channel is saying we're at capacity for this year. It's February. They're at capacity. So now everyone below that, which is everyone, is now has to say either find someone or chances are everyone's just going to increase their prices by 10%. If a big business typically shoots for a 10% increase in growth, they're going to have to just increase their prices by 10%. Now if you go, and that's at the very top.
Yeah.
It's not like, Cisco and US Foods are the big distributors that sell to, that service restaurants and supermarkets. That's, they're massive companies, but they're at the bottom of the supply chain. And now, that was all negative.
Yeah. A little scary.
Yeah, but what can you do to adjust that? There's an art to business. And I was listening to the Arizona Iced Tea podcast. At 99 cent iced tea, and that the beautiful art of business of, hey, you know that they were faced with price increases in different realms of their business, but they still figured out how to cut costs elsewhere, right? Like their the material they used, they said they never adjusted their recipe to cheapen the recipe and their formula for their iced tea, but they made a thinner
like aluminum can.
A thinner aluminum.
Okay.
They used less aluminum, so the product costs, they save costs on that end.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, that's a beautiful thing. Like, hey, you know what? Sometimes you have to increase the price.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes.
It's part of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes, you know, if chicken went from $5 a pound to $10 a pound, you know, as a restaurant owner, you can't absorb all of those costs.
Yeah.
Right? You have to share it with your customers. But in some ways, you can, you know, figure out ways to cut costs elsewhere and not have your customer base, you know, absorb all of the price increases.
Yep.
Right? And that's the beautiful art of business. So the hot take is, you could listen anywhere, and they might tell you 10 different things. We're calling the hot take, prices are going to continue to increase collectively. I mean, the inflation, we wrote this a few days ago, and then I think the day after, inflation came out 7.5%. So as a restaurant owner or a restaurant operator, you have to take that into account. Way upstream, the price, they're saying we're at capacity for the year. So now everyone below that is like, oh shit, the only way we're going to grow our business is to increase prices. Right?
Yeah.
So how do you, so now we're not going to dump these problems on you and move on. We're going to help, you know, try to help you solve that problem. One of the things we did was, instead of going to a distributor and buying all of the ingredients from that one distributor, we either went direct to the source and bought, or we went to multiple distributors.
Pick and choose, kind of.
Right. And we were able to stay very competitive. Right? Another way was to carry larger inventory, incorporate frozen fruit instead of fresh fruit.
Yeah.
In some ways, some areas you have to go fresh, right?
Yeah.
But some ways.
Yeah, if it's your brand, stick to it. But like, still think about it, because it'll save time, save money.
Right.
And you might just have to.
Right. Or maybe the packaging, like Arizona even did. Yeah.
All of this is essentially to avoid giving that price increase to the customer.
Right. Or not giving all of it to the customer.
Yeah, not all of it. Yeah.
You know, like,
you're trying to absorb some for yourself.
Right. Or and that's the art.
Move it around or something. Yeah.
Right. Adjust it so it's like, Sam Walton, the founder of Walmart, worked at Kmart, I think, early on. It was one of the big retailers, and the head of the founder of that retail store division came in, and they were making Christmas gifts, and he said, use this bow and tie a bow, but use 1/10 of what you just used. So you can you're making this gift look just as beautiful, but you're using 90% less materials. And it stuck with Sam Walton as, like, you know, just because you're cutting costs across the board different ways, or buying, you know, larger inventory at once so you can get a discount, or whatever it is, doesn't mean that you still can't provide a great service and a great product to them. And Walmart went as down to the nail of, hey, where can we, you know, the ribbon usage.
Yeah.
You know, it's penny.
That's pretty specific.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So we went from, you know, 3 pennies for ribbon usage to 1.50 pennies.
Yeah.
And he was like, that was mind blowing to me.
He cut costs in half.
Right.
Yeah.
And again, I'm all for the paper straws, but if you could save 1.50 pennies there, you know, and you're doing 200 smoothies a day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's
It'll
$2 and
yeah.
it's $60 over the month.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like,
It'll add up.
yeah, those little things add up. I hate when people just dump it on
Customer.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's brutal.
Yeah, it's just like, dude, you're not that good.
Yeah. You know what? This actually made me think of something because our friend Brian, he wanted Domino's,
Mm-hmm.
and somehow they still managed to offer $5.99 pizzas.
Yeah.
Somehow, some way, through everything, they're still offering a $5.99 pizza. There's pizza places that have gone from when we were kids, it was $12 to $16 for a pie.
Right.
Depends. You're not getting it for less than like 18 now. Specialty 20, 25.
Yeah, 25 easy.
Yeah, you'll spend $50 on 2 pizzas.
Yeah. And, like, that's fine.
Yeah, of course.
Like, you know, it's a free market, do what you want.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you know, appreciate the off form of figuring out ways not to have a fuck you pizza.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, and don't get me wrong, I've had $25 pizzas.
Yeah, I still do.
Yeah. It's a beautiful thing. You get Domino's for $5.99.
Yeah.
You know, and there is something to be said about that.
Mm-hmm.
And I love quality, too.
Me too, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But, like, there is truly a beautiful thing of 99-cent Arizona iced tea
Mm-hmm.
for 20 years.
It's incredible, honestly.
All of the restaurant operators out there are really big. I think there's been a massive trend on farm fresh, locally sourced, what all these things, right? And all these specialty crafts stuff, and it's great. But at the same time, in restaurants, sometimes families just want an affordable, tasty meal, and they don't really care about all the jazz.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, that's real.
Mm-hmm.
Walmart built their business on that. We're going to provide, all about savings.
Yeah.
We're going to save our customers money. As a restaurant, you should really think about, hey, my prices are going to go up. How much can my customer base afford to pay before they continue cooking at home?
Yeah.
Or they, you know, find somewhere else, or cheap, you know, they call Domino's.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
99% of the time, I'm not calling Domino's.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to be paying $45 for a slice of pizza.
Yeah, it's true.
You know?
If it gets to that point, man, it's possible. So.
Yeah.
Right now, it's like in theory, a $40 pizza, but like it could very easily get to $30 soon.
If you told our parents you're going to be paying $25 for a pizza, they would have laughed in your face.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what my grandma says every week.
Yeah.
Every week.
Yeah. They're pricing your grandma out
Mm-hmm.
as a customer.
Yeah.
She'll laugh. She'll be like, she'll laugh. She'll buy the pizza because, you know, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. She's not going back.
Yeah.
To the $25 place, I bet, right?
No.
And then you have to you have to figure it out as a business. I say, you know, you could be that guy that sets the market at $50, and hopefully you have a strong customer base that is willing to take that cost on. But if not, if you don't want to be that guy and you want to provide good value at affordable prices, which is a beautiful, great thing, how do you mitigate the price increases is start looking at different distributors and developing a larger vendor list, kind of barter with people. I think, you know, we've lost the you know, that skill of bartering.
The art of barter.
Yeah, the art of bartering. Right? And that's real. America
Yeah.
was built on that.
Yeah.
You know, the world was. So I think, hot take, get back to bartering.
I like that.
Right, though?
Yeah.
And again, you know...
In kind of a different sense than how it originated. Not like, I'll trade you this wheat for your 2 goats.
Right.
But in the sense of trade-offs.
Right. Yeah, right. Well, and a trade-off can be, if you're working with Cisco and you're a restaurant owner, listen, man, I can't pay you for the 20% increase that you're doing, but I'll buy a larger inventory at once. So you only have to deliver to me once a week instead of 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Now, and I don't know anything about Cisco, but in theory, your delivery service would say, all right, well, we're saving money on gas and payroll because now we only have to pay someone for one trip instead of 3 trips. That would be a huge saving for and that's that's a barter, right? Like, hey, hey, Mr. Distributor or delivery person, I'm gonna buy another fridge or another freezer, but can you help me out on the pricing? 5%, 10%, right?
Yeah.
So instead, now I could just order once a week from you. You'll be saving money countless ways on payroll, gas, tolls, right? And by not having to come 3 times a week, and I'm taking on a bigger risk carrying larger inventory.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And that is a very reasonable, legitimate, partnership. But you have to, as a restaurant operator, work to find those distributors and those vendors that are going to really value it at you as a partner.
Yeah.
And do what they can to provide competitive pricing so you could stay in business and continue to keep your customer base happy.
Like us.
Yeah.
Like us.
Hell yeah, man.
We're putting the face back in distributors.
Yeah.